Welcome everyone. We will be starting momentarily. Thank you for joining us for this webinar around transcription and ASR. Welcome everyone. We will start momentarily. Welcome everyone. We will start momentarily, just giving folks a chance to join. Welcome everyone. We will start in exactly 2 minutes. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome everyone. We will start in 1 minute. Thank you for joining us. Welcome everyone. We will begin our presentation regarding SyncEditor transcription workflow. But before we do, I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. We will have a questions and answer session toward the end of the presentation. In Zoom, you will be able to go to your panel, and there should be a button there that says Q&A. Press that button and you can ask questions throughout the webinar. We will get to those questions in a systematic way. In addition to that, this webinar is going to be live captioned using our recap solution, and you can turn on the captions using your Zoom panel controls as well. Okay. Those live captions will appear over the video, and that also is going to be something that we can leverage for the video on demand version of this webinar. In addition to that, we're going to have some polls throughout the webinar. Please participate in the polls, and we will get started right now. My name is Giovanni Galvez. I am the Vice President of Business Development for Syncwords. And today we're going to cover SyncEditor transcription workflow. Syncwords is a cloud-based automation and transcription solution. We also do translation. We have several different solutions in our in the things that we offer on our website, and they're all around SaaS cloud automation. The ones that we're going to focus on today are our SyncEditor, our offline ASR automatic speech recognition of a transcript, and our synchronization, our automatic sync text sync platform that makes everything work really well to synchronize the text to the media. The key thing about all of our products is they're scalable, they're on demand, they're all cloud-based. All the tools are browser-based. There's nothing to install locally, and there's no need for it. The thing you should know about our solution is that we focused on offline transcription and captioning. And for many years now, Syncwords has been able to help people be more productive, save them time and money. They're able to take all their media, leverage Syncwords tools on the cloud, and able to create transcripts and captions very easily in an automated way. One of the key aspects to our system is that you can take a transcript and a piece of media, and audio and video, and you can upload that to Syncwords Cloud solution. We can then take that transcript, that plain text file, and we can, using our proprietary AI engine, we're able to synchronize that text to the video. And I'll demonstrate that in this webinar very shortly. In addition to that though, if you don't have a transcript of your media, that's not a problem either. We can help you. We have best-in-class automatic speech recognition. We can take the audio and video and upload it to Syncwords, and then we leverage ASR engines to be able to generate that transcript, and then we take that transcript into our tools to make either a transcript for broadcast television or a plain text transcript, a very simple thing to do. Okay, so before we go any further, I wanted to put up a poll question up, and then we'll get into our actual demonstration of our new SyncEditor tool. Okay, the first poll question is, what is the frequency of your ASR use? Okay, a lot of people have dabbled with ASR, they've tested it, they've seen it at trade shows. We'd like to know from our attendees, is this something that you use in production? Is it something you use every day? Or is it something that you rarely use, or you're just testing? Please let us know. That poll question should pop up. And then you can, we'll be able to see the results. Just go ahead and click on one of the options there. Okay, let's move on. So you can see that the results are interesting. 34% of everyone that joined has said that they only use it occasionally. Okay, I believe that's going to ramp up. For those who use it very rarely or never, it's more than likely that you rely on human transcription. It is something that is the industry standard right now because things are very critical and they can't have errors. So that's understandable. Okay, thank you. Let's keep going then. On the next slide, I want to talk about kind of the high-level overview of how we work. Okay, the inputs can be media files, they can be transcript files. That gets sent to Syncwords. Syncwords then leverages speech-to-text AI when needed. It leverages our own proprietary timing AI. We also can do auto placement, segmentation, and then from there, the review and cleanup typically is a human aspect to the workflow. The review and cleanup happens with our Syncwords browser editor. Okay, we have several tools on our website that allow customers to review what the ASR has completed, or they can simply have contractors or in-house staff review the results right on the browser. When we first launched this, we came up with something called the Pro Caption Editor. And this is a really key tool for meeting broadcast closed captioning requirements. Okay, it really is designed for the professional captioner and subtitling agency. It has a very familiar look and feel and functionality as professional captioning tools. You may have seen certain things like this. And it was all browser-based. So it was simple to do, and everyone in your facility could have access to it. However, it was very obvious that this very specialized captioning system that was on the cloud was really not, it just wasn't appropriate for transcription review. It required captioning skills. You had to understand the elements of professional captioning in order to use it. It was really made for television protocols like CA608 and really designed for finished programming. So once the video has been edited and it's finalized, captioning always happened on the tail end, okay? But in a lot of workflows, we see that transcription needs to happen on the front end, upstream. This helps indexing, it helps editors understand where the content is and find the content. So this interface was not appropriate. Therefore, we designed something called the SyncEditor. And this is a one-step review and edit tool for transcripts generated by ASR. So you upload your media, our ASR engine gives you back the results, and then you have a simple interface to edit that media. And of course, just like other Syncwords tools, it's on the cloud. So it didn't matter if you're on Mac or Windows or Linux or even Chromebook, you can open up this editor and actually review your transcript and finalize that transcript very simple, very easily, okay? So before we go any further and get into the demo portion of this, let's go to our next poll question. Okay, so monthly ASR hours, okay? How many hours of ASR transcription and cleanup do you do per month? And I wanna mention that this is totally anonymous, okay? But we just wanna get an idea from the people who attend this webinar. Certainly the people that said never or rarely, it's gonna be 0 to 50. But if you're working with a transcription company or you're a broadcaster or a post-production house and this needs to happen in a very regular way, is it the kind of thing that you're going to put your whole library through? That's really the question here. So please let us know. I'll give you a moment. Just go ahead and select one of these options and then we can move forward. Okay, let's go ahead and see the results. And it looks like as expected, the majority actually do 0 to 50 hours. So it's not the kind of thing that's really implemented in prime time. And that's typical. But what we see is that 20% of the folks said 100 to 300 hours. And that is folks that really have tight deadlines. They need things really quickly done. And ASR is really a way to get that speed when you have this kind of level of content and in high volume. Okay, great, thank you. Let's continue. So when you have a tool that allows you to review transcription on the cloud, and you can just open up your web browser, log in, and you can see all your projects and you can review all your projects. Everyone in your company has access to it. You no longer have to spend money to buy a piece of software for your contractors, for your staff, or whoever needs to do this. There's a scalability of processing. This is something that you can connect to your MAM. It is something that all the ingest stations can actually send video media to get processed. And it's something that you can use on the go, whether you're traveling, whether you're in field, let's say you're a reporter or someone who's doing an interview in a remote location. This is something that you can leverage as long as you have internet access. And of course, there's our API integration. So if you have a system that does workflow orchestration, and automation, the API calls can simply send the media to us, and it can actually pull the media down, pull the transcripts down as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the SyncEditor, and it's a very simple UI. It is the kind of thing that looks more word processor than it does a professional captioning or professional transcript, okay? And you can leverage all of the different elements that are already built into your browser. But we have all of these amazing tools that help people speed up cleanup of the transcript, and I'll demonstrate exactly how that works in just a minute, okay? So the video is going to follow the text. The spectrogram is a timeline that helps you understand where there's loud noises that differentiate from the spoken dialogue. There's searchability, there's timing, confidence. So all of these things are happening within this tool. Okay, but what is important to know, our key innovation with the SyncEditor is that there's a lot of background processes happening. And for example, these things you won't see because you will have just almost like a word processor in front of you. But in the background, as you make edits, auto timing is happening constantly. Okay, we leverage our servers on the cloud to make sure that that timing is being updated every time you make a change to the text. There's scene change detection happening. There's segmentations and text formatting. This is auto placement can be occurring as well if you select so. And there's of course word level timing navigation happening. So when you click on a particular word, the video moves to that, and as you play the video, the text literally lights up so you know exactly where you are in the transcript. This means that at any point after you complete your transcript editing from this word processor style SyncEditor, you can always convert your project to a subtitle file if you need to, or a simple time text file, or something very, very general that has timing and is separated properly for television. But these aren't things that you have to worry about when you're actually using the SyncEditor. This is something we just do in the background. And of course, what editing tool wouldn't be complete with customized keyboard functions? If you worked with correcting transcripts, you need the keyboard shortcuts to be able to navigate through. They're very simple and easy to use. Okay, so we're going to do a feature walkthrough, but before we do that, let's just do one more poll question. Okay, this is more for folks that actually are doing a lot of ASR transcripts, right? If you do ASR transcripts, you'll know that you're going to be missing punctuation. Certain words, depending on the quality of the audio, are going to be wrong. You're going to have to fix those. But how long does it currently take you to clean up a 1 hour ASR transcript? If you've ever tried it, okay? This is, say you do the ASR transcript, you're editing it in a software that does professional captioning, or you're editing in a simple word processor like Microsoft Word. How long does it take you? I've seen setups where you have a video application like QuickTime, and then you have the word processor side by side, and you have a foot pedal even to be able to control the video. And you have to kind of set that up in order to view the video and also fix the transcript. Okay, please select an idea here, and then we can continue. All right, let's go to the results. And it looks like the majority of people said it takes them over 90 minutes. But I guess it varies a lot. So I imagine that that is a result of the kind of programming that you have, right? So something that has accents or perhaps isn't quite good for ASR speech recognition is going to take longest. And that seems to be the majority, at least in this statistic. All right, let's go ahead and continue. And I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough, live walkthrough of the SyncEditor. Let's go over some of the quick tools that we have in the SyncEditor. At the bottom, we have a play pause button. Yes. We have a way to rewind the video to the start. We have a way to back up 5 frames, go forward 5 frames, a volume control, a speed adjustment for playback, so you can review the transcript a lot faster, a way to look at timing confidence, audio cue highlights, and of course, there is our timecode readout. Now notice that they go up to 100 milliseconds. Later, we can make the adjustment downstream to go back to 2997 for TV broadcast. Then we have a way to zoom in the spectrogram. The spectrogram is our timeline that also represents all the spoken word in a graphical way. We have a way to set up timing anchors, a way to pin the video or hide the video. There's an indicator about how your project is constantly being saved. And then we have our settings. In our settings, we have a variety of keyboard shortcuts. Under General, we can change things like the spectrogram height, pause while typing, and flip layout, which I prefer. Now let's look at the top portion of the SyncEditor. On the left, we have the project name, duration, and word count. On the right, we have a way to search the transcript or do a find and replace. We can also adjust the font size, making it smaller or larger. We have a way to play the button.
We are serious.
And if you notice, when I hit play, the text is going to light up as we have word level timing for each word.
About rebuilding the American middle class.
Same thing is true if I click on a word. It's going to move the video to that part of the segment.
Political movement.
We also have a way to add additional speakers. I could add speakers like another moderator in the debate or another debater. We can also adjust timing cues. We can add a specific word that highlights cheers or laughter or clapping. We can simply type that in, look in the spectrogram, set it up as a sound cue, and hit the start and end time. Since that's not part of the spoken dialogue, it's important that we use this tool to let the AI know that that doesn't need to be timed along with the dialogue. Here in the spectrogram, it's easy to do the simple in and out start time because it actually highlights where there is that noise. That makes it very simple to do those start and end times. Now we can show you how to take some of these tools and get the job done to review this automatic generated transcript of this speech. So this is without editing. I simply uploaded this clip and we're able to see the resulting transcript on the right. First thing you'll notice is that I need to adjust the speaker label. So here, the actual ASR engine has automatically put this tag, but I can actually add a speaker. Okay, so now I have that speaker. In this case, there was a pause, so it thought perhaps there's another speaker here, but I can just simply delete that. And now it's all tagged under the same speaker. If I wanted to, I could add additional speakers. like say moderator, or if there's someone else in the debate. And then later I can actually add those speaker labels whenever I need to. So the main thing here now is, how do I review the automatic speech recognition to make sure it's completely accurate? One of the first things that you know about speech recognition is that it sometimes misses punctuation. So if I find a place that I need to do a punctuation, I can simply do that. There's parts where I don't even need to review the video. I can simply go to that part. Let's say I want to put a period after a middle class. I can do that. I can put an I, capitalize. I can put another period here. I can put another capital letter. And you'll notice that in the background, as I'm making changes to the transcript, they'll eventually light up. And what's going on there is that in the background, our proprietary AI time stamping mechanism is actually making word level timing every time we're making a change. So later on, if you want to convert this to, say, a caption file, all the timing is going to be there. You don't have to worry about timing it. You just focus on changing the text, and the rest is going to be done for you automatically. Next, we look for words that perhaps aren't correct. Okay, so something strange here in the transcript, for example, when he says they are elderly citizens that are children, they are sick, and they are pool democratic. So that doesn't sound right. I don't think that's right from the actual speech recognition. So let's take a listen here. I'm going to click on that particular text and press play.
They are elderly citizens, they are children, they are sick, and they are poor.
So there should be a period there, and I guess it's because his accent is from Queens, New York. It came out as pool, but really it's poor, and then period. Then I can go in, hit a capital letter there, and now in the background, as soon as it lights up, it's going to be timing, and then you'll see that once it lights up, the timing is done, it's auto-saving, and now I can continue to do that finalizing of the transcript.
Democratic socialism means corrupt, that we must create an economy that works for all, not just.
So everything is right. Being able to review it just a faster way, just to make sure I can go word for word. I can go into the play speed, select, say, double speed, and then press play.
Which, once again, is prepared to take on and defeat a ruling class whose greed is destroying our nation.
So it's really simple to just review it. It's fast to review it. If I need to make changes, I can. But there's another thing, and that is leveraging the spectrogram. So there may be times here when there's some sort of noise or cheering or laughter or clapping or whatever the case may be. So I can go to that part. Here, this kind of white noise here, that kind of tells me there's some noise here. So I can just go to that part of the video.
So let me take this up.
So after this period, I need to put a sound cue. I'm going to put some brackets here and put cheers, clapping, and brackets. And what I can do then is I can select this phrase, and I'll go to my timing and cues. Now I can assign that cheers and clapping as a sound cue. And I can set the start time. The start time is going to be over here. And then the end time is going to be over there. And now that is going to be auto-timed, and that sound cue is going to be part of our transcript.
So let me take this opportunity to define for you simply and.
So you continue to do that. You can check for a confidence layer to make sure that none of the timing's kind of off. It kind of looks for those things until you're completed. At that point, Once it's saved, you can go back to your project and either download the transcript with timing or convert it to a caption or subtitle file. All right, everyone. So I want to make a clarification. I believe Bernie is from Brooklyn, not from Queens. So I apologize about that. But the typical use cases for SyncEditor is something that is kind of the value behind this. So for example, live caption text, clean up and sync. How many times have you recorded or ingested a video that's been live captioned, like news and sports, and then you want to repurpose that for video on demand, but the captions, well, they're just not in sync, okay? This is something that we can absolutely fix in an automated way. And there's also reporters that do in-field interviews. They need to get that media to the network as fast as possible, or the news agency as fast as possible, and they need that transcript done as well. So this can work. Of course, there's captioning and subtitling, transcription and timing to be perfectly clear. Once you're complete a project with the SyncEditor, you can just convert that to a caption or subtitle file. We have auto positioning, we have the scene change, we have all of the things that are going to be required for TV broadcast. So you have that SEC file or whatever type of file ready for you downstream as soon as you're done with this. And another use case is doing API integrations with MAM systems and workflow orchestration. I touched upon that previously, but however, this is something that is critical, especially for high volume. Those of you who said that you're doing 500 plus hours, you know, it's not the kind of thing you can manually upload to Syncwords to do the cleanup. You could literally take that live ingest, sports and news that's been captioned live, send it to Syncwords via API, get back the file back from Syncwords and faster than real time, and then you have something that's perfectly synchronized. It's a great use case. Let's kind of highlight that um, for say live captioning. Okay, I mentioned that just now. This is the basic workflow for live captioning, right? You have your source live feed going into a caption encoder or inserter. You have the court reporter connecting to that remote caption encoder inserter, and then the feed has the captions, and that goes to internet streaming or TV broadcasts. This is the live workflow. However, the text from that feed, because it's live, is a little delayed. All right, there's 3 seconds delay, typically, sometimes 4 seconds, depending on the captioner. And there may be some text that's missing from that. Okay, so if you do this workflow and then you ingest that live programming and you're going to repurpose it for VOD, that's where SyncEditor can help. Okay, we can automate that, take that 3 second delay, eliminate it, format the roll on to pop on, and have something that's perfectly timed and ready to go for the VOD. And that all can happen in an automatic way using our API. It can also be done manually, of course. And the next thing is, of course, the field reporters. So I mentioned that you have someone going to report on a specific interview or news story, and they have to do a quick edit on their laptop right then and there. Okay, this is something that they can then upload to Syncwords, do the transcription cleanup using the SyncEditor, and then they don't even have to send it to the news agency. The news agency can just download it via API. That's all they have to do, and then they're ready to do the edit to get that news story out the door as fast as possible. So that's another really key use case for the SyncEditor. The next thing I want to do is just do one more poll question. So let's have that up, and then we can get into our questions and answers. So what do you mainly use ASR transcription for? okay? And this could be multiple choice, but is it the kind of thing that you're using to transcribe for captioning specifically? Are you using it for editing, like to create transcripts or dailies that you can then edit in Adobe Premiere or Avid? Is it for asset management so that you can search for words and find clips that help you um, create a program? Please let us know. We'd love to know this answers. Okay, let's take a look at the results. Okay, so it's mainly used for captioning, and that's very typical. I think generally speaking, editing is something that's a new workflow, but it's essential. It's something that perhaps people are farming out to a transcription company, and that's fine. That's useful. Having that human element to review it and get it perfect is great, but the turnaround times are killing us. And so we have to really leverage ASR to then have a human review it. And the key thing is how good the ASR is. And I can tell you, I've been really impressed with how far they've come this year. One of the key ASR engines that Syncwords is using is very good, as you saw from that clip that I showed earlier. Okay, let's continue here, and we're almost done. So Syncwords really has a lot of different solutions. We have a live and offline solution. We have real-time translation. We have OTT and broadcast, and of course we have those pro editing tools. And all of these things kind of work hand in hand. We're very flexible, and we're used by major broadcasters in the United States, as well as post-production companies and service companies alike. So we definitely invite you to try this solution. So now we're going to go into a questions and answers. Definitely, let's look at your questions and let's see if we can do to help you. Okay, so the first question is, does your tool effectively eliminate the need to use your Pro Caption tool? And the answer is actually no. The reason is because the Pro Caption Editor, has a way to do like the final review. Okay, if you're definitely going to broadcast television, it's important that after you use the SyncEditor to just review it in the Pro Caption Editor, especially if you want to do advanced things like split positioning, things like this, highlighting certain terms, or like underline and italicize. These things are important, and it's the kind of thing that you need the Pro Caption Editor to do. But in many ways, if it's a simple dry run, yeah, you could just use a SyncEditor. Okay, if it's something that's not really specific, like all the positioning can be at the bottom, it's not too critical, then yeah, the SyncEditor would probably be the only thing you need. But it's always good to have that QC step. Okay, so another question is available in French. Definitely is something that's on the roadmap. Right now it's available in English and in Spanish. French is right now being tested. So if you're interested in testing that, we would love to hear from you. We'd be happy to hear from you. Okay, the next question is that if SyncEditor would work for pre-created transcripts, and not just for transcripts generated from scratch via ASR. And yes, that's correct. If you have a pre-existing transcript, but let's say you know that there's some things that you need to change, there's also, you got to add timing to the pre-existing transcript. The transcript doesn't have that timing. Then, yeah, absolutely. You can send that to SyncEditor, and SyncEditor will do the timing, and you can review the transcript and do the tagging of the sound cues and the speaker labels, etc. So it's really, you can work either way. If you don't have a transcript, we'll generate one for you. If you have one, we can help you finalize it and do the timing using the SyncEditor. Another question is, do I utilize edits done to better our AI? Generally speaking, that's not something we do. Okay, it is something that we do work on corpus files, but that's something that we have a separate process for. Okay, it's not the kind of thing that we're leveraging our customers' media to better our corpus. That's something that we don't want to do. We have a different process to build our corpus, to make it stronger, and to better our AI. And if you're interested about that, we can talk to you about that offline. Someone asked, how scalable is Syncwords? Like how many projects can we process at once if it's through API? We really don't have any limit on that, okay? We can process as many projects as needed because everything is redundant. It's on the cloud, where we host our system on AWS and also on Azure. So it's very robust. There's really no problems sending tens of thousands of clips to Syncwords or more to get processed to do ASR as well as auto timing. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions and then we can adjourn. The Syncwords support italics and other formatting, someone asked, and the answer is yes, we absolutely do support italics and text formatting. I assume you're mentioning about custom positioning or underlines. That's something that you can do on the Pro Caption Editor to do this. And then when we output the media as a file, like an SCC file, you will get those formatting changes. It is not something that you can do in the SyncEditor, at least not right now. Okay, I think that's all the questions. If there's any more questions, please type them on the Q&A. Let's see if there's any other ones that I need to answer. Give it a little bit more time. Okay, someone asked an important question. How can I become an enterprise account? You can simply send us an email, and that's all really that's required. The enterprise account can basically opens up the API to you. It also opens up the ability to add users to your account. So for example, if you've logged in as yourself, let's say your name is John Doe, you know, you can change the ownership of that account, and then you can add all your teammates in your entire workforce. And there's even ways to manage permissions on those accounts. So some people can't delete projects, some people can't upload projects. You can manage all that. We have a very comprehensive way to manage all of your users. You can also add additional users or delete users. So the enterprise account is really valuable, especially if you're working as a work group and you have contractors, etc. This is not the case with standalone desktop software. That's very expensive. You really can't deploy that because it would just be too costly. But with Syncwords, our professional tools are scalable and everyone in your organization can use it as long as you have an enterprise account. Someone asked if it supports foot pedal. I want to say that that's on the roadmap. It is something that we intend to investigate in 2020. So that's really important. I know for transcribers, they utilize foot pedals. Someone asked if it works for singing. And the answer is yes, it does actually, especially our auto timing. We've been able to upload music videos, even like hip hop rap songs that have music in the background, and we upload the lyrics, and it does the timing perfectly. It really is amazing. It's way beyond anything I've ever seen, and so we invite you to test it out, um, so that you can see for yourself. So as far as like the singing is concerned, our auto timing works really great. ASR, it may miss a lot of things, okay? But it depends on the application that you're using. Okay, let's see a couple more and then we can adjourn. Someone asked if there was a limit on supported languages. We currently do English and Spanish for the SyncEditor. We're going to scale that up. If there's a specific language that you would like to see, let us know. Someone else asking me if there will be a webinar in-depth demo for the Pro Caption tool. And the answer is yes. We absolutely we're going to highlight the Pro Caption Editor for those of us who are professional captioners. Okay. Someone's asking me if they could automate karaoke. You know, it's funny you asked that. On the roadmap, not only can you, but since we have word level timing, we're actually going to even introduce animation of the characters specifically for karaoke, because that's actually something we want to get into. So stay tuned. That's something that's coming next year. Okay, and someone's asking French Canadian. We absolutely are considering that for both ASR and timing. And if you'd like to do some tests with us to do French Canadian, please reach out to us. And with that, I'm going to give you my contact information. You can go to syncwords.com, SyncEditor, sign up for a free account. We'd love for you to test it out. We'd like to facilitate that. We'll do follow-up with you to make sure that you understand how to use it. And you can always send me an email. I am someone that's a resource for all things captioning, ASR, and AI, cloud transcription. So please do that. I want to appreciate everyone that has joined us today for this webinar. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll also reach out to you to see if we can answer any additional questions. Thank you so much.